old friend.
My children.
I mean, it's kind of an
I
odd
would
place
just
to
eat
have-
cookies.
Well, so what I did. Feeling like
And then I'm lucky.
I twerked my back when I was.
Oh, no.
And painted something.
Little napkin under it.
I mean, I twisted foot, and it's been bothered on and off ever since. So, I mean, I get all kinds of back pain. but This is the oldest and most fun.
Get rid of it.
March meeting of the Indiana Borough Council to order. I'll stand for a moment of reflection, pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Laura, if you could call the roll, please. Present.
Kratza, Lancaster, Noel, Smith, Steelman, Taylor. 12 present, 0 absent.
Any additions or changes to the agenda?
But I am here.
I would do it just to make sure.
Yeah.
She said no one answered.
Afterwards. Okay. Council meeting. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second? Is there a second? No, it wasn't me.
Perm and Casey.
Okay. Is there any discussion of those minutes? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Similarly, you have the minutes of the February work session. Is there a motion to approve those?
Very forthright.
Is there any discussion of those minutes? Seeing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And you have the January financial report. Is there a motion to approve that?
See a pattern.
Discussion of the financial report. Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I'm set aside for public comment. Is there anyone in the public who would like to address the council? Please. You-
First, thank you guys for everything you do in the community. I know some of you and just want to say thank you so much for everything you guys are doing. We're grateful for it. What's that?
Name and your address.
Rush 330 Chestnut Street. So right in the borough here. Yeah, I just wanted to approach you today. At the start of 2021, we had I have a shared driveway. I'm on 330 Chestnut. And then I believe the other one's 346. But we share a driveway. There's also 2 properties behind us on East Shryock, I believe it is. And there was a water leak for one of the properties in the piping from East Shryock. And this is started 2021. The leak was repaired, but they had to dig up part of the driveway and they also had to dig up part of the sidewalk. And everything was well and good, but they didn't repair it back to its initial, how it was initially looked. And so, you know, my desire is to be a good, honorable neighbor, not trying to ruffle feathers or anything like that. But I approached, I called American Water and also approached the owner who had the work done, and nobody seemed to want to take responsibility or to fix it back to its how it looked initially, which would be the honorable thing to do. So, you know, some time has passed now. So basically, I'm here tonight to look for counsel from the board of the best direction to take, or who to approach. Because like I said, I've called American Water. They've said, I know there's some bonds and things like that they have, but again, I just don't know quite what to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Company do the work.
Actor.
Then this should,
I'm looking for counsel, but I was also mentioned that maybe I could just get a letter from the board with the recommendation that something needs to be done, and then I could approach the parties. I'm not saying I want people to do, you know, confront others for me, but I'm just looking for a direction because I don't want to misstep.
Works Department.
I think just is the first time. She told me a little bit about it today and I was trying to get some more information.
Yeah.
So I will follow up with our Public Works Director and we can go down and take a look at it and see. So PA Water, or they were digging up the line for the house.
Yes, the line, and it's a little unique situation because, you know, it's 4 properties and I believe there's part ownership of the driveway for my property and for my directly adjacent neighbor. But, you know, the water line went right through the driveway. So they had to repair it. They just didn't repair it back to how it initially looked. Sidewalk, we've had 2 kids who have, you know, we're kind of on a slight decline. So we've had 2 kids going down on their bikes or trailers and who have wrecked because it looks like this right there at the sidewalk there. It's just enough for a kid to injure themselves. So.
3-minute alarm.
Thank you guys again for everything you're doing in the community and appreciate it.
Follow up on that. Is there anyone else who wishes to address the council?
Who really likes.
I hate to do this to people who've come, but we're gonna have to ask everyone to step out of the room for a few minutes while we go into executive session for legal reasons.
All right. Where'd we at? Where are we?
Okay.
Next, committee report.
Meeting, but we have 2 things that came out of that session that are appropriate to come from administration. So we need
You want me to state?
2 motions. Yeah,
The first motion, and this did not get voted on by committee, so you'll need a second on it. Would be to hire attorney Jocelyn Kramer of Weiss Burkhart Kramer LLC from Pittsburgh at an hourly rate of $225 an hour to conduct personnel investigation.
would somebody like to make that motion?
Second.
Spending money, I would vote.
We've had the discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carries.
Do we have to do a roll call since we're spending money?
I prefer that, but.
All
that's
right,
just
we'll
me
do a
being
roll
cautious.
call.
Sorry,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Milano, yes. Bowser.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Frick. Harry. Yes. Pratta.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Noel. Yes. Smith.
Yes.
Steelman. Taylor. 12 yes.
Motion.
The second motion would be to approve a separation agreement with a borough employee. And who is a member of the utilities union, is that right? Yes,
Utility workers.
yes, I'm sorry.
We had a motion.
So moved.
So we had a. You want it seconded? Boom. Okay. Once again, we've had the discussion. All in-
Roll call. I would do roll. call.
No, we'll do a roll call on this one too.
Braun.
Yes.
Bonneville. Yes. Louder.
Yes.
Ford.
Yes.
Frick. Herring. Yes. Pratza.
Yes.
Lancaster.
Yes.
Newell. Smith. Steelman.
Yes.
Taylor. 12 yes.
Okay, thank you. I was the only administration committee member at the last meeting, but we shared it with Public Works. And it was an informative meeting, but I think we'll hear about it from Public Works, so. Move on. And it is, unless you have anything else to come from the administration. Okay. Then community development.
No meeting since our last meeting, so no report.
No.
Streets in our minutes. About forming the Complete Streets Committee.
Not on, it's,
Public Works, so you said.
So we're voting on that tonight?
We don't have to.
Isn't it already happening? Isn't that what those emails are about?
No,
Oh, no, that's the.
it's not,
I'm sorry.
it's in our minutes though.
Yes.
Or in caps.
To form this committee to then take forward, working through that whole Complete Streets.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember now.
I can't find it that fast.
Head Committee? Can that be the Bike Head Committee?
oh,
On that one.
Probably.
Meetings.
Well, this one, does the bike ped meeting have council people on it? I don't know who's on the bike ped committee.
Okay.
How many, is there any council people on it?
G goes.
This specifically calls for 2 people from council.
Yeah,
does
you
it
need,
not?
it had a list of folks.
Yeah, it's at least 1 specifically from council. I thought there was 2. I don't recall. I'm sorry.
Question.
So you got a motion?
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna end up happening. Use that spot.
Is there a motion?
A motion?
Motion or action item from the committee, so yes.
I'm not finding it, so.
I thought we were gonna bring it up at our next committee meeting.
What's the motion?
You're,
Business, 2 down, action item.
okay, I just,
Oh, there it is.
In mind.
I'm not in charge of this. man.
thing on to Form 1. Yeah,
Went on 40. Permit.
Yeah, we basically.
It's, there's a whole, it was in the packet last month, I believe.
Yes.
There's a
on the
whole
work
like
session, I
process that they want to work through.
And essentially they want to decide what that looks like, so they need to form the committee to decide what that looks like. Somebody was crotchety at the meeting,
The me or you?
me.
Okay. Cause I'm crashing a lot of the time.
Well, I'm the one who said it was fluff.
The table that's been, was it seconded? The motion is to form,
Need to be coming from a
came
committee.
from the committee. Great. Sounds great.
Okay. Former Complete Streets Committee. Roll call vote for, call the vote, yes.
Trying to get home. Sorry.
Necessary discussion. I think that, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Now we need to form the committee. And,
Sounds good.
okay. Else from community development?
Nothing.
Nothing. Then Moving on. Steve.
We met on February 16th and since we had signed a contract with the Indiana area schools, we've gotten a lot of positive notes and thank yous and stuff from all the schools in White Township. So that seems to be going very well. On February 21st, the countywide radio upgrade, the grant that was written by our police department was signed by Tom Stutzman, the Director of Emergency Management with Indiana County. And now they're starting the process to get radios so that all the police departments in Indiana County can talk to each other eventually. Another thing wanted to mention, one of our new business items, we have with the amount of e-bikes coming around, there's an e-bike traffic safety campaign that Lieutenant Eric Slavinsky and Officer Jeff Hogue will be working on. And I hope to have some things coming up in future meeting about that. I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of the electric bikes and scooters around town. And nothing else was outstanding. One thing I will mention, it was decided today, we're moving the Thursday meeting next week from Thursday to Wednesday, March 15th, because the chief cannot be here on Thursday, the 16th, because his son is competing in state diving championships in Bucknell University. So he will be there instead of here. So next week we will meet on Wednesday. What did I say? It was 15th at 7 o'clock. We'll have our public safety meeting then.
Any questions for public safety?
On the end, there's a recommendation for a stop sign at North Clymer, and just want to make sure that connects with Public Works. Just to
Yeah.
make sure we can budget. I
Yeah.
just want to make sure there's that connection.
Great.
I've asked about the 11th and Water Street before, and I know we did a traffic study. But there's another accident there yesterday. I don't know if there's some sort of enhanced stop sign that we could use on 11th saying that cross traffic doesn't stop, or lights, something that we can do on our end to reduce people just pulling out, because there's another like T-bone that's happened here a lot. People just drive across water and hit things.
In some of our intersections that have been like that, we've been able to get the flashing, the solar powered flashing
Something.
is that feasible, or, you know, I mean, that's something.
Feasible, yes, expensive.
Yeah, I know it's expensive, but
It's like cross traffic doesn't
Right.
stop. That's a good one, because it doesn't say that right now.
okay.
So maybe just something
We
that's
did
simple.
that with one other place up on Water Street recently.
Yeah. Water and 13
Yeah.
has some things there too, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
thank you.
The intersection at 8th and Philadelphia Street, which is marked right turn only.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, cars go straight, go left all the time. I don't know if it's a signage issue. Heck, yesterday I was pulling in, turning left onto 8th Street, and there was a car, like, it was almost as if it was a one-way street, 2 lanes. A lady was over on the left side, making a left turn onto Philadelphia Street. I'm like, wow, I've not seen that before. But I think there's a signage, I don't know if it's a signage issue there. I just don't want somebody to get hurt.
I've seen that.
Negligence, because there's definitely a sign.
Yeah.
There is a sign, but I just,
People aren't seeing it.
I don't think people.
Around 8th, turning onto Philly.
Oh,
Courthouse with all the parking and everything, it's kind of hard to visually see it.
I know when I pull out of 10th Street going across Philadelphia towards IUP, the parking is very, very thick on the sidewalks, and I have to pull into traffic to see if I can go. Meanwhile, and that's all the time. That's all the time. But it's nice to see the business have business, so.
yeah, now that would make sense. They're going.
Doing business.
thinning out the herd.
For business. I shouldn't say that. All right. Anything else for public safety? Nope. Public Works, let's have some action items.
Sure. So I'll start with the action items. They're sort of administrative, big picture and sort of more immediate picture. So the fee schedule, the suggested motion is to move the 2023 fee schedule resolution. We only had one change. I think it's been through all the other committees. We had a change that updates our sewer rates for some commercial properties. We increased our sewer rates over a couple of years, and there's just a few things that didn't catch up. And so this is really just keeping up with those things to increase their sewer rates. So that's that motion, and that the specific description of that is in the minutes of the meeting. So that's the motion.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
So the second thing, we had the privilege of having a great tour from our engineers at, at Stifler McGraw. And a really extensive tour of the building, looking at the significant, pretty extensive renovations. I would encourage you to take a look in the minutes at the PowerPoint. The big picture is that in all of the building, the whole ceiling, the heating, electric, lighting, and cooling will all be replaced. So that's pretty much the ceilings on every floor, and then some pretty significant structural upgrades to the right side of the building here. And then most of the other structural upgrades are in what used to be the police station, or sorry, the fire department, that is now the police station. So it's being sort of recreated to be more of a police station, significantly putting in more secure evidence lockers, secure storage, and sort of upgraded police types of things. So that's all in there. And I would encourage folks to take a look at that. The motion tonight is not to approve the entire thing. It seems like a two-part project. This is really just to allow our staff to continue with the RAC P, that's what it is. The RAC P application, which is a federal application, No, it's a state application that is sort of a very long process that will largely determine our timeline on this project, which will be over the next 2 years, we hope. So that's what that motion is. This will allow our staff to proceed with this project, largely as envisioned in this PowerPoint, with some flexibility. We're not there's coming out of admin. There's going to be more discussion about how the funding will happen, sort of in two parts. We will be funding part of it out of our own budget, including ARP money, and then we'll be with a significant loan we'll be looking for. So that's the motion.
Of ADA requirements that we don't have.
Questions?
All of the items, is that the final list of things to be done?
Yes, I mean, stuff in there is not like painting and like little odds and ends stuff, but the majority of it is, yes. Why, what did you have
Putting solar on the roof as a way to reduce our overall costs long-term has been on the list, off the list, on the list, and I don't see it on here, so.
on our roof too, because the way the plan is, some of the stuff they have to put up is gonna be on our roof, so there's not gonna be room for solar panels, but we're in the process right now. Going through the RFP for the Get Solar. So hopefully we will have some sort of solar. It just might not be panels here. It might be somewhere else closer that we can pull from. Mhm. We're definitely moving forward with the Get Solar application and stuff. So.
I still have a motion on the floor, right?
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it's over this project. So, I think broad questions like that, it's much as I think we can answer. We did a long tour. That's very interesting.
Are we ready to vote? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
And the third motion is for a project that's been on our sort of been in our pipeline. It's largely a wastewater drainage project, which is in our budget. We actually budgeted 195,000 for this, and this came in our low bidder of 170,000. This is to essentially remove the new wetland that was it's popped up behind over the last 5 years. Houses due to a lot of other hydrology that this is going to solve it. So the motion came from the committee to accept the low bidder there from Liberoni at $470,313.43.
Any questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Great. I would definitely encourage you to read through the rest of the minutes. As always, our public works folks are working hard all the time. There's lots to do. There's never a season when there's not lots to do. Kind of dodged a little bit of a bullet with snow this year. That's great. That doesn't mean there's not potholes. Our parks department continues to designated or we're hiring another laborer for our parks department, which is good. There's plenty of work to be done. We did get a grant there for our wastewater treatment plant. And I think those was all. That was it.
Great. Any other questions for public works? We have a report from Shade Tree.
Yeah, tying into the new employee hired by the borough to work with the parks, the people that are working with the Parks Department are being trained by the arborists on how to prune efficiently and appropriately prune trees. Right now, they mentioned in the meeting that there are 117 trees currently designated in poor condition. And there's a new list. They're going to fine tune the list, but right now there's 117 known trees that are in poor condition in the borough. And they did mention the fall planting of trees, 8 to 10 trees will happen in the 1000 block of Philadelphia Street. And then the goal is in spring of next year that Philly to Church Street will get trees. The little stretch where the trees that do exist are in kind of bad shape. And that's sort of an offshoot of the South 7th Street from RMC Park. If we're going to fix the one side, we should fix the south side. So that'll be between there and the post office.
I'm sorry, so along 7th Street. I'm sorry, I heard Philly to Church and then I wasn't sure. Okay.
South 7th.
Okay. Okay.
South 7th Street. It's a block area. Post office and Tom's Pizza and Somnia Cookies, all that area there. That was about it. The arborist was sick, so he wasn't in the meeting.
All right, are there any questions from Shade Tree? Then, moving on. Nicole. Manager's report.
PAR auditors are here this week, so they're auditing 2022 books. The paving bids was sent to our engineer to review, so we'll get those out and then we'll open that in April's Public Works meeting. And that's all I have.
Sir, thank you. First and foremost, thank you to the Public Safety Committee for their willingness to alter the public safety schedule for my family next week. We genuinely appreciate that accommodation. Next, I'd be remiss not to mention a significant drug investigation that concluded in Indiana and several states. It concluded last weekend. Our partners in the press have done an excellent job in documenting what occurred, but I want to just speak a few words on that. There was a sustained effort, not only by members of your police department, but by Indiana County police officers, as well as our partners with several federal and state agencies to conduct a multi-tiered investigation that quickly grew larger than Indiana Borough's initial investigation and involvement. The Indiana Police Department stayed connected throughout the investigation with the district attorney's office, and our federal partners, and the conclusion netted an arrest of 70+ people for dealing heroin and fentanyl and methamphetamine. There was $600,000 seized. There were automatic and semi-automatic firearms seized. There were 2 million, enough fentanyl to create 2 million fentanyl pills, which is certainly one of the largest investigation conducted locally. I would argue even in Western Pennsylvania, as far as fentanyl goes. So I'm very happy that we were able to eliminate those drugs from the street, and I'm confident that district attorney and also our federal partners will hold those who were arrested accountable, though everyone being innocent until proven guilty. Next, I'd like to say, for the calls for service report, we've been very active in our schools these past 2 months. I'm proud of that effort. And the calls for service for the month of February, absent our increases in the schools, are very consistent with past years' February police activities. So if there are any questions, those can always be asked, or they can be brought to Public Safety Committee. I don't want to scoop IUP's announcement, but I do have some public safety information that Indiana Borough and White Township are going to be very busy the month of March. And when we're very busy, it's great for businesses, but there's also going to be an expectation that there's increased traffic, both vehicle and pedestrian. And that is where a public safety component comes in. March 11th through the 14th, IUP's basketball team is hosting their Atlantic Regional Tournament, which is very impressive. It's going to bring a number of teams from out of the state, I would assume, and in-state to the Indiana area. There's also a Keystone State Wrestling match that's going to take place at the Cavalcha Complex on March 17th through 19th, which again is going to bring an influx of visitors to our downtown, largely families, because I believe it's 14 and under, or 14 and 16-year-old wrestlers. And we have St. Patrick's Day on the 17th, and we also have its associated weekend, perhaps unofficial activities, if they were to occur. We're currently anticipating that they're going to occur March 24th through the 26th. So generally speaking, for all these events, your police department is going to be planning with partners. We're going to be prepared for an increase in traffic and influx of pedestrians. We do special events very well in this community, and I have no specific concerns to bring forward to anyone at this time about our handling of the influx. Traffic is both a blessing and a curse, because it means people want to be here, but it also means that there's going to be probably a level of stress that's increased, and we're going to have to be patient with each other. So my ask to the community is that we give each other time these 3 weekends, that we understand there are going to be plenty of visitors unfamiliar with Indiana Borough and town, and that we give a little extra time and space to those who are visiting our community for the first time. Kennedy Allen was employed with the Borough Police Department March 1st of 2023. She is currently beginning her field training process. That's a standard training process that will be no less than 15 weeks and with a target of 17 weeks. So it's a very extensive program so that we can assure that she is as safe and as viable as possible, and that we are providing our borough with an officer who has full resources. So other than that, just the station renovations, I just continue to be a good partner to the manager. This is not going to be an easy or stress-free task, and I've already committed to her that she'll have my support in whatever we need to do to have it be squared away. And that's my report, sir.
Questions for the chief? None. Moving along.
Myself, Dr. Broad, and Manager Cephas were able to meet with representatives of Indiana County to go over, because we redistricted due to the reapportionment issue. There was some information put out there that maybe something was amiss or afoot, and we wanted to sit down and talk with the voting people at the county level. We met with their solicitor. We met with Chief Clerk Robin Maryi, Will, and why am I forgetting his last name, Nicole? Do you remember? They have a new person
He's
over
new.
at the county. He's their voting guru. That's not his title, but that's what I just gave it. But anyway, long story short, there was concerns about the way the maps. Harrisburg had concerns. So we are in the process of working with the county to get the data to Harrisburg, but it will not affect the upcoming elections. So that's the upshot. But if anybody was out talking or heard that, hey, there's problems, no, the petitions were all filed today. Hopefully y'all, whoever wants to run, get your petitions in. They're in hopefully, and you'll be on the ballot. But we don't anticipate any problem with the county. It's just a matter of data collection so that they can provide that data to the state. And it has nothing to do with our wards. It's all driven by their voting precincts. So, you don't think maybe moving that line a block matters. But in Harrisburg, somebody said, well, wait a minute, there might be 30 people that vote there now as opposed to before. So they just want the data. We will work with the county. Will basically said, that's a June project. Get through the primary and then we'll get everything to them. Nicole will work with the county to get all that done. So if you've heard any of those concerns, don't be alarmed. We're all good. Any questions on that? Okay. That's all I have.
Other questions for the solicitor? Then, good.
Weekends coming up here, of course, this weekend for the Atlantic Regional Tournament. Tickets do go on sale tomorrow at the KCAC, and our men have their first game on Saturday at 5 p.m. So come and check them out if you can. If we win, we'll go on to Sunday and play at 7:30 p.m. And then championship game will be Tuesday at 7 p.m. We will continue to have watch parties throughout the community as we did for the PSAC championship. So it was really great to have some of our downtown businesses that partnered with us. We had some nice crowds out there, a lot of fun getting together to cheer on our Hawks. Spring break will start on March 13th. So our students won't be around this weekend for the tournament, which is sad, but we'll have a lot of other people coming into the community. We have the IACT All Stakeholders meeting on the 20th to talk more about the celebratory weekend that revolves around St. Patrick's Day. And then beyond that, just some highlights from IUP on next episode of the Rural Healthcare Podcast is up. And that was released here recently with a focus on robotics and surgery. Provided the link there if you want to check it out. They'll continue to release those every month, and they're already working on the series for next year as well. Our Black Experience Alumni Committee is hosting an inaugural weekend, April 14th through 16th. You can read more about BEAC and what they're doing with our African-American students and really helping them with their journey while they're here at IUP. We're also providing unique opportunities to begin healthcare careers immediately after high school graduation. There's a new healthcare pathways program that's primarily up in Punxsutawney. You can read more about that there. And just recently we hosted author and academic Roosevelt Montas. It was a really neat program where he talked about how great books changed his life, and he focused on Socrates. So I don't know if anybody was able to catch that, but I got to meet him briefly. He's a pretty amazing guy. And that's all that I have to share for today.
Thank you for providing all these links so that we can.
I'll update you at the beginning of April with all of the great things that we'll have bringing people into our community. So.
Thank you. Are there questions for Jen?
Hawks.
This is my turn, but I don't have any report. I haven't been doing much. I was going to mention the IAC All Stakeholders meeting, but I've been. Never mind on that one. So. I meet with Nicole regularly and things are going on smoothly. That's all I can say. It's the mayor.
I just want to take a minute to again congratulate the chief and the detectives for the job that they did with this large investigation that ultimately arrested 70 people. I think that's huge. And it just shows you the quality of detectives that we have here in our borough. So we're very delighted to have that, and thank you very much for that. It's a big deal, very big.
It was a good picture in the Gazette too.
So, yes, very nicely done. That's all I have. Very nice.
Any questions from there? Do we have any old business?
Yeah, who's winner?